Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? It is day 9 of RPG A Day 2021, and our word for today is medium. Now, years and years ago, when my oldest daughter Catherine was very small, we used to get under the covers and play this little game where we'd say little, medium, big, and then we'd throw the covers off of ourselves. And that's how I taught her the meaning of those words. And now she's actually due in December, and I will be a grandfather. But this video isn't about that, nor is it about that definition of that word. So you're looking up medium, you can find all other kinds of definitions for the word, such as the intervening substance through which impressions are conveyed to the senses, or a force acts, or an effect is produced, or an agency or means of doing something, or the substance in which an organism lives or is cultured, or the element that is a natural environment or habitat of that organism, and even for surrounding objects, conditions, influences, environment. So the RPG experience, we could say that it involves several mediums, media, that help bring it about, give it a place to exist, like in the manners that those definitions suggest. Not so long in the past, these methods of playing the game, like Google Hangouts and then, Zoom and, Skype and all these various ways, that was a medium by which we could find other gamers and play with people all around the world. And that really opened things up for a lot of us. It's been a very positive effect on my gaming life, my life in general. So that's one definition of that word medium. We've got this medium of play that we didn't used to have, which is great. It has had an effect on the atmosphere of play. There's a lot of things, because you're not actually really at a tabletop and you can't see everybody's body language, from head to toe, and there's various elements of the environment you can't really control. You're not really all in the same place. The experience itself is different because you don't have as much control over that medium, which is the environment in which you're playing in. However, having said that, it's been my experience that playing with my gaming group, just logging on, the kind of ritual we have, starting play, and seeing the familiar rooms, Eloy's room with the swords, and sometimes a dresser behind or a desk behind Jose, etc., and Craig's little office, and the various people I play with, even the noises of the dogs or the actual appearance of the dogs, the noises of the coqui frogs in Puerto Rico, all these kind of things kind of signal my brain. They're stimuli telling me it's time to play. It's time to not just to play, but to get into RPG mode. And so, in a very odd and unusual and interesting way, still that bizarre medium of online play, there's an environment that happens that prepares me for play. Even sitting in this room, getting ready to do this, setting everything up, for some reason that still operates as the medium of play, and it helps me to create the magic circle. So that's really interesting. The other thing that I was thinking about, though, is like all of the rules, the procedures, the system, the mechanics, the genre expectations, whether we're going to play in character as character, out of character as player, in character as player, all these kinds of things, that stance, our culture of play, all these things kind of contribute to the overall medium in which the emergent fiction kind of happens, and the individual experiences that we have happen, and the actual events of play happen. And so all these are contributing factors to this medium, and they're not just the medium in which we play. They're literally that agency or that substance by which information and force and everything effects are transmitted one to the other. Without all those ingredients, we'd simply be doing some kind of improvisation, and improvisational storytelling or something like that, or story creation. Instead, all of those things, that system, the way the game's supposed to be played, our culture of play, all the stuff I mentioned, these combine, and they produce this tangible method or procedure, whatever you want to call it, by which the game is actually played. And it's almost like the incantations, and the inscriptions and the material components of some obscure spell or eldritch ritual or something like that. And doing those things, it allows us to produce probably the closest thing we're ever going to see to real magic. and that is this RPG experience that we have. So there's various, as I look at the word medium, there's various things that I can apply that to think about the role-playing game experience, how we bring it about, how we create it, how we get ourselves ready for it, how we actually meet with each other. And all those things really have a very positive impact on the nature of play and the nature of the experience. Pretty cool, huh?